Look 4. Tita! The cries of a boy could be heard among the chaos in the ER hospital. Tita! Before him was the body of a girl, lying unconscious on a patient's stretcher. Her face was pale. The boy walked to her, trying to climb up there to hug her. He wanted her to get up and tell him stories, wanted her to play Monopoly with him, and wanted her to take him to the playground in front of their house and to a swimming pool. Why would she not wake up and talk to him? He did not understand. His father carried him away from the bed. The boy knew that his father's voice was not normal, but he did not understand why. Tita will never wake up again, my boy. His father kneeled and hugged him tightly. The boy blinked wonderingly. Why wouldn't Tita wake up? Because Tita has already moved to heaven. The boy felt his father's body trembling. Was he crying? From now on, we only have me, your mother, and Tin. Only the three of us now. The father finished his sentence when I woke up. I slowly sat up. My whole body ached. I felt so dizzy I could vomit. I rubbed the head of my brows. This was not the first time I dreamed of this scene. It was an actual situation that I experienced when I was a child. I did not even know what death was then. I saw the lifeless body of my sister. She died because of the shock from a bloodstream infection. She went to have an abortion at an illegal clinic without telling our parents. The next day, she had a high fever and a stomach ache. She was put in the ER because of her low blood pressure level and died soon after. If I was a doctor then, I might be able to help her. Saving a patient from the shock from bloodstream infection was something I did too many times. She might have survived. If I could go back in time with my current medical knowledge, if I got the chance to help her. The door of the dining room was opened. I turned to look at the person who was furiously walking in. Her face showed she was upset and bored. She was Aim, a nurse from the ER. There you are. We're at war with all the fresh cases out there. Could you go help your juniors? Aim talked to me. You've been eating for quite a while now. Why is there still so much food left? I looked at the food that was almost not eaten at all. I raised my brows and turned to Aim, panicking. What time is it? I asked. Aim raised her watch to see. 9:15. I suddenly jolted up and shocked Aim. Okay, I believed I was back at the same scene again. But this time I was not woken up by Aim. I woke up by myself. I did not know if this was a reality or a dream, but I had to get out of this loop. How? I did not know how yet, but I would try to find the answers. I walked out of the dining room, ignoring Aim's call. I knew that I left my stethoscope on the floor, but I did something different this time. Maybe a small action could lead to some big changes. I walked through the chaos. One was about to see me. I wanted to try not to help one. If he could not find me, he would probably ask for help from Gap or Pin instead. I hastily hid behind the curtain where a nurse was inserting a urinary catheter into a patient. The middle-aged nurse was stunned to see me. The middle-aged man who was about to be inserted raised his head to look at me. Hello. Inserting a urinary catheter might hurt a little. I smiled at the patient who blinked at me confusingly. I opened the curtain slightly to peek outside. One was talking to Pin, and then Pin put on her stethoscope to listen to the patient's lungs. There, one situation had already changed. Pin would probably intubate the patient. Let's see what else I could change. After walking out of the curtain, I went straight to the ER door. I went outside where the relatives were waiting. I put my hands on my hips, gazing through the dark at the road in front of the building. A case was coming. A case of a male university student who had a motorcycle accident. He would be unconscious and had a cardiac arrest in the ER. This was the second change I would make. This patient, he had to live. The siren of an ambulance crashed into my ears. I reviewed in my head the things I had done to him, things that I might have done wrong, and things that I might have forgotten to do. The siren kept getting louder. I counted down in my mind. The patient arrived at the ER at 15 past 10. I slammed the table out of outrage. Juan, Pin, and Gap all turned to me with a shocked expression on their faces. What happened? Don't be angry. Don't be. I'll always be by your side. Gap slid in and sat next to me. He hugged me and laid his head on my shoulder gently. Pin pulled a wry face, as if she's just seen something disgusting. What did I do wrong? I freaking did all I could. I pushed Gap out of my shoulder. He giggled. That's the young man's case. I did not get to check the case at all. But why are you stressing over it like this? You did your best. Then Gap acted like he recalled something. Oh, I get it now. You're stressed because you have to do a case conference for the case that died with Prof. Ma'am, right? It's not that. I massaged the inner corners of my eyes. If that case keeps dying, I'll keep getting stuck here. What do you mean? Gap looked at me, not having a clue. Then he stood up. You should go home and get some rest. You're talking nonsense now. I'm going home as well. I'm going to, Ian said. See you, Beatine. See you. I sat there with my eyes closed till everyone left the dining room. Damn, I could not change his fate. I might have to try something else. I got up and dragged my sleepy body and heavy head to the resident's bedroom. I put two bottles of M150 in the fridge. If nobody had already drunk it, it must have been there. In this small resident bedroom, we have two two-story beds, a fridge, and a counter where we put the microwave and sad piles of food like instant noodles and snacks. I opened the fridge, opened the M150, and poured the sweet energy drink filled with sugar and caffeine down my throat. I did not know if this was enough to keep me awake till morning. Maybe if I did not fall asleep till morning, I might be able to break out of this freaking loop. I sat on the bed I normally used when I had to stay the night at the hospital. This damn drink did not help at all. I slapped my face and took several deep breaths. My eyelids were as heavy as an anchor. Fine, this was another change. The last three times, I slept and woke up at the same place in the dining room. Maybe if I slept here, I might get out of this repeating loop. That dining room might have some curses that I would have to find the answers to later. I decided to pick up a piece of paper on the bedside table, fold it, and put it in my pocket. If time kept moving, the paper should be in my pocket when I woke up, right? But if time moved backward, it would not be here. I lay down on the bed, closed my eyes, and prayed that I would wake up to the dawn of a new day. End of loop 4.